This is my temporary Kato DCC layout, and I just wanted to show you guys how I put this thing together. When I was looking around to do something like this, I couldn't find anything online really about wiring a Unitrack layout for DCC, kind of small and temporary. So I'm going to walk you through what I've done. Hope this helps. I have a simple basically 3x6 sheet of plywood with a double mainline track going around with one siding and then another kind of yard break off over here. I've got two number 6 switches over here, one number 4 over there, and I've got a double crossover worked into it as well. And my command station is the ESU ECOS 2 command station, which is really awesome. A little bit expensive, but if you're considering or thinking about getting something really cool, this is amazing. So I'll show you a little bit about this later on, but basically what I've done here is I've ran a bus line underneath the track, and it's these two the red and the white coming out of the back. That's my bus line, and that's 16 gauge solid wire. Total overkill for something this small, but it's what I had, so it's what I used. And then the blue and white is the regular 24 gauge feeder that I'm using for a small section of programming track here. Anyways, I have a temporary bus, like I said, that runs around the bottom underneath here. That goes pretty much follows the outline of the track below and goes all the way around, and it terminates right here. I didn't make it a loop. I think I read that you weren't supposed to do that, so I didn't do that. And then what I have is little suitcase connectors. No soldering, nothing there. I just did suitcase connectors, and these are typical out of the package 24 gauge Kato feeders. Running off of that, and it just comes up and it ties into the track. I basically hit it in 4 locations for feeding the track. I read online that it's a good idea to put a feeder at every single Unitrack section, but I thought that was, maybe that's for a permanent layout. I thought that was crazy, and I guess that's if you're not going to solder your joints. But anyways, this being temporary, and I figured that was crazy overkill, I just hit it every 3 feet or so, which I also read was kind of standard. So I got one here, got one over here, one in that corner, and one over here as well. Then the switches, I've got a double crossover here, and this has 4 unit joiner feeders at each entry point into it, which I read that's how you properly feed that thing. And again, they just pop down here and they tie into my bus line with those suitcase connectors. The number 4 switch right here, this is a power routing, this is a non-power routing switch, which basically means doesn't matter which way it's thrown, it will send power either direction or both directions simultaneously. So on this little section of track that the train's sitting on, I did not have to have a separate feeder, because it doesn't matter which direction it's in, you still get power. And then over here I've got 2 number 6s, and the 6 is a power routing switch, and so whichever way it is thrown, it will only send power that direction. So the solution to making sure all of your lines are live is basically to have a feeder at each piece. So between the 2 6s, I've got a feeder right there. Again, that goes down, ties into my bus, and then I have another one right there, which picks up this straight segment there as well. I was very confused about isolation, if I needed to isolate sections of the track, and I have no isolation on this at all. So I thought at one point I needed to, but I don't, and it works great. So just a heads up on that. Then I'm controlling all of the switches with this DS64 by Digitrax. I want to say I paid $46 or $7 for this, and what an amazing piece of equipment. Stationary decoder, super easy. Basically I have two feeds that power it, again from the track bus. These are 18 gauge wires. They just run from there, tie into my bus below, and again that's not only sends the DCC signal from the command station to the stationary decoder, but it also powers it. And then the four outputs here are basically go to each of the points. So one goes to the double crossover, one goes to the number 4 switch, and the other goes to the other two number 6s. As simple as that. So really cool. So you can see this is temporary, so there's wires all over the top and everything. So if you wanted to make it a little more permanent, you could drill holes and that kind of stuff. But just for doing something a little bit more intense than just a regular DC layout, this is really pretty neat. So anyways, that's what I have here. I'll go back and show you a little bit about the command station. One thing that's really cool is, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but on my track layout here, I've been able to basically show the entire layout, and then I've programmed each of those switches, and you can come in here and basically tap on any one of them. This is the double crossover, and you probably heard it switch over there. So now it's crossing, that's back to straight. Here's that number 4, press that and it goes into the yard or out. And same on this passenger station siding here. Really cool. Then I've also programmed some routes. And again, I don't know how well you can see this, but routes basically tell it which way I want the switches to be for a particular route. So this one is, I can go here and show the information, tells me what it is. That particular one is the main line with a cross and going through the station. So if I come back here and I hit that, you could hear it. It went through each one of them, and it delays a move on each one so it doesn't overload your amount of current it's taking, and it just switched them to that route. So really neat setup here. And then back to the layout, there's all kinds of cool things you do. I have 4 locomotives on this right now, and I can run them all here without doing anything. It's without having to get up from my chair. So I've got one shown on the right here, and then I've got 3 other ones over there. And why don't I just run a couple of trains for you? And again, I hope this video helps you. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from this.